Hello there. My name is Murray. I'm with my co-host Corey, and we are The Real Guys. This is Siren Radio, and this is The Real Show with two E's. The music you just heard was Burning Heart by Survivor in 1985.
Yeah.
It's time to kick back in with a regular segment. It's time for Good Film, Bad Review. Now, all Corey has to do is guess which 2020 film was which and decipher that from these bad reviews. Now, just to comment on last week, these will be decent films.
Yes.
These will be good films, because last week it was kind of like any film bad review.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was bad film bad review.
Yes.
But we're not.
In the case of a couple of them.
Yeah, but we're not going to change. We will not break tradition today. We will not change today. It will be good film bad review. It will not be bad film bad review or any film bad review, which it might end up becoming. But not today. Not today, Corey. So are you ready to kick off?
Yeah.
Good. We've got four reviews today to get ready. And shall we start off with a good old half-a-star review? How about that?
Oh, that sounds great.
Here we go. Half-a-star review. I'm just going to read this, how it says. Ugh. I love the first two goofy adventures with two very likeable, dim bulbs. Part 3, not so much. Too earnest, too self-aware, too unfunny. I stopped after 20 minutes. Just didn't have the laughs or the spirit. Tedious and flatlined. The daughters were just a little too cutesy and self-aware. Typical, as most is in all caps. Most comedy sequels are unfunny and worthless. Full stop.
Okay.
A lot of words there. A lot to pack in. How do you feel?
Okay. Okay. Well, it's a sequel.
Yeah. What's your first impression?
And it's a comedy sequel. Okay. I have a couple things going on in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Ugh. It starts off with just UGH. Ugh.
I'm trying to think of like comedy films that have come out this year. I'm trying to think of when stuff came out, because there's also 3 of them.
Yeah, there's 3 of these things.
It's the third.
Yeah.
When was first thing that popped up in my head was the third Jay and Silent Bob film, but I believe that was last year. I don't think that was this year.
This is.
But
I admit
there's 3 of them.
Yeah, I admit some of these reviews are a bit like 2019 traps.
Yeah.
So it's got you thinking, did this film come out in 2019 or 20? No, but these are all 2020 films. So.
Yeah. See, I believe Jay and Silent Bob was last year. However, one film I am aware that did come out this year and was a comedy was the new Bill and Ted film.
Right. Okay.
And there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
That was the third. It is a comedy.
Yes.
So I kind of feel like that's the only one I can get in my head. So I think that's my best option.
That's your best option to go. Are you going to go with the third Bill and Ted?
Bill and Ted, I believe it was Face the Music. I think that's what it's called. And
you're off to a good start because you're correct.
Yes.
Well done. It is Bill and Ted Face the Music 2020.
To be fair, I haven't actually seen that film.
Good job anyway. I wonder if you can get Are you going to get the 100%er on this?
I mean, I've got it once before, so you never know. It could happen again.
The clean sweep. Are you ready for this next review?
Okay.
It's another half a star.
Okay.
Are you ready for this one? It's
hit me.
Just the worst type of movie. This is half a star, by the way. This is half a star.
Okay.
It's just the worst type of movie. Annoying characters, tonally and structurally inept. Unearned, needlessly nasty scenes, poorly written, and with a dose of faux feminism and cheap political jokes. And whatever Ewan McGregor is doing, I wish he wouldn't.
Okay.
Hello there.
Well, we're not a Ewan McGregor fan.
Hello there.
We're definitely not a Ewan McGregor fan.
No, the negotiations were short. Is this just an excuse so I can throw prequel jokes? Maybe. I'll do what I
Now,
must.
I'm having one issue here.
Right.
He's been in 2 films this year,
Yes. Do you
at
want to hear the
least.
review again?
Yes,
Right. Okay.
because yeah, go for it.
Just the worst type of movie. Annoying
Yeah,
characters, tonally and structurally inept, unearned, needlessly
okay.
nasty scenes, poorly written, and with a dose of faux feminism and cheap political jokes. This person high on his politics. And whatever Ewan
Yes.
McGregor is doing, I wish he wouldn't. The
Okay.
negotiations were
Okay.
short.
Okay. So
That's
there's
why
2
I'm here.
films I'm aware of. There's 2 films I'm aware of that he's been in.
Right, what are those
One of
films?
them, one of them is like a romantic drama that I believe set sometime in the past.
Right.
Right. I don't think it's that. The other one, however, is Birds of Prey, the
Ah,
Harley Quinn film,
Birds of Prey. Yeah,
and that
I'm gonna call it
that
Birds of Prey.
sounds more likely. Yeah, because it was Birds of Prey. When it got changed to Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, because I think people weren't going to see it
No,
enough or something.
my understanding is it was called Birds of Prey originally, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, it
cool, because
was.
obviously I know DC Comics as to you.
Yeah,
Oh, cool, Birds of Prey film sounds great, you know. But then people didn't really. There was like no, it wasn't pulling, so they changed it to Harley Quinn
yeah,
and Birds of Prey. People were like, oh yeah, I remember Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad.
yeah.
Even though probably I would have just, I hypothetically, if you were to choose that answer, I have seen that film.
I think it's more likely to be Birds of Prey than the other film he was in. So I'm
Right,
going to go Birds of Prey.
and you are again correct.
Yes.
Well done. Are these a little bit too easy for you? Maybe they are.
I'm just kind of like, to be fair, I'm looking out on most of them.
Its full title is Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn.
Nice.
So there you go, 2020. So yeah, would you like
Right.
this next review?
Go for it.
It's half a star. Now this is something that actually you've probably encountered before, so you might be faced with a similar dilemma.
Right.
First 2 films were absurdly funny and energetic, even though they were mindless blockbusters. The earlier films felt like they had some heart and soul behind the action and Hollywood-esque love stories. This one, not so much. 1 out of 10.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, now it seems like this is kind of we're in sort of sequel territory here.
Yeah. Again, there's what? What other
This is
films?
another half a
There's
star,
3
by the
of
way.
them. Yeah.
Hollywood-esque love stories. Also, this guy got his own rating system.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
1 out of 10. Apparently not very good.
Love story.
Some heart and soul behind the action and Hollywood-esque love stories. No, he says the earlier films felt like this. So he said this one not so much. So this one must not be like that.
What sequels have come out this year?
Apparently it's a year for sequels.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I can't think of like any sequels. I'm trying to think of sequels
Right,
that
okay.
have come out. I mean, I know a couple.
Right. First two
Weirdly, and
films.
it isn't going to be this. It is not going to be this at all.
Right, what do you think it is then?
The only other film I can think of that's had like a couple sequels is the new Bad Boys film, and I don't think it's going to be that.
Right, okay.
But
So
I
the
might
first
have
2
to go
films
with that.
were absurdly funny and energetic, apparently.
I mean, yeah, I can see
Michael,
that being
what? The
Bad Boys.
Michael Bay? Is it Michael Bay?
Uh,
I have a vague remembrance of Michael Bay.
I mean, it could be.
Is it Michael Bay?
I'm thinking of the Will Smith.
Yeah, the Will Smith. Yeah,
Yeah,
Will Smith.
Bad Boys. What are you going to do? That one.
What are you going to do when they come for you? Yeah, I know.
Yep, that's exactly how it goes.
Yeah. Well, if that's your only choice, then
It's my only choice. I've got to go for it.
right. And for some bloody reason, you're right.
Oh my god. Okay.
You're doing it. You're doing it. Yes, it is Bad
Great.
Boys for Life, 2020.
Great.
Well done. So for some reason, you're getting these all right. That one was hard as well. That one was hard.
I'm racking my brain to just figure out what came out this year.
Right. Would you like this last review?
Yes, please.
It's the fourth review. It is a 1 star.
Okay.
One-dimensional characters saying one-dimensional lines in a movie that cares so much about being witty and ridiculously aware of itself that it forgets to be interesting. Long sentence. It may be fun at times, but ultimately it is just another example that an expensive budget does not make up for a cheap and lazy writing. 'Tis truly mediocre. Clearly not for me. Hashtag wannabe Little Women.
What?
Yes, you heard me. You heard.
What?
I'll read it again for you, shall I? It's quite long.
Yeah, please.
One-dimensional characters saying one-dimensional lines in a movie that cares so much about being witty and ridiculously aware of itself that it forgets to be interesting. It may be fun at times, but ultimately it is just another example that an expensive budget does not make up for cheap and lazy writing. ... She is truly mediocre. Clearly not for me. Hashtag wannabe Little Women. One word. Wannabe Little Women. That's. I assume it means the film based on the novel Little Women. But it's a wannabe Little Women. Not quite.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
Okay. Well, Little Women is, I believe, another film that's set in the old. Well, I say olden days. I just say olden days because I don't actually know what time period it's set in.
Yeah, I don't know either. But
so it could be the other Ewan McGregor film that's also set.
It could be.
In olden times.
Would I go for double Ewan McGregor, or do you think that I would have?
You would.
Oh, I would go for double Ewan McGregor. You're right, I would. But
what's it called?
Do you think I probably would have gone for a review that mentions Ewan McGregor?
I don't think you would have, because the other one mentioned Ewan McGregor.
Right. Okay. So this one wouldn't mention Ewan McGregor.
What was it called?
Oh, if you can get it, you might have the steal.
It was a name. It was a name of a person. It was a person's
Oh, well
name.
done. Right. Okay.
And yeah, it could be anything. Right? It could be. It was a female.
So Ewan McGregor was in some sort of what? Was in a sort of old-timey love story film this year.
Yeah. What's it called?
That isn't Birds of Prey.
Emma. It was called Emma.
Was it called Emma?
It was called Emma.
Okay.
EMMA.
And he was in that, was he?
He was in that, I believe.
Okay.
Fair certain. Enough. It might not have been a big role, but I'm pretty sure he was in it.
All right. Okay. Well, do you think that I would? Do you think that I would have gone for the double McGregor?
I'm going for Emma. I'm saying you would have done a double McGregor.
Okay, we're gonna go for the double Emma. Emma 2020. What do you mean? Do you mean like I'm trying to think of a famous person called Emma, but I can't narrow it down.
Emma Watson.
Emma Watson.
Emma Watson, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
That's a favourite Emma.
Yeah, I suppose it is a favourite Emma. Yeah. Are you going to go for that? Are you going to go for Emma?
I'm going for Emma.
Oh, and you're incorrect, I'm afraid.
What was it? I bet what was it?
It's Enola Holmes.
Okay, I've heard of it.
Yeah, with Millie Bobby Brown, the sort of Sherlock Holmes reboot thing with Henry Cavill.
Right. Okay, so that's another film that's also okay. Right, that makes a bit more sense.
Another olden times thing. Also,
yeah.
Looking at the cast of Emma, I don't see Ewan McGregor. Are you sure he's in it?
He is in it. I've got the cast up right now. He plays. I think he's got a cameo in it.
Oh right, yo. You don't think is he uncredited?
Well, if you know how if you search up right on Google and say cast, and it comes up like for example in Emma, it says Johnny Flynn, and underneath it says George, right? So that's the character name.
Yeah, George.
Searching onto that, Ewan McGregor comes up, but it just says Ewan McGregor. So I don't know if
Ewan
he's
is
got a
playing Ewan
cameo.
McGregor.
He might be playing himself.
Granted, I've not seen this film, so I don't know whether Ewan McGregor is. You say he is. I'm going to trust your word, to be honest.
I swear he is.
You can email us in, and tell us if Ewan McGregor is in Emma.
No, I'm staying by what I swear he is.
Right, okay. You can let us know. At the real guys at I don't care.google.gmail.com.
Yeah, that's definitely what our email is.
I don't know. We do. I'm sure we have one. So you got 3 out of 4, which isn't bad.
That's all right.
It's more than 50%.
Yeah, which is what I got last week.
Oh yeah, there you go. However, with all the 2020 releases, we've decided to look back over the year and decipher what films that we've watched.
Yes.
What our best 5 are, what our top 5 are going to be from this year. They don't have to have come out this year, but we definitely have to have watched them.
Yes.
And we're going to give a real rating for each. It's a real rating bonanza this week on The Real Show on Siren Radio. So what is your first pick of the year that you've watched?
So, first one I've got written down.
Also, I guarantee we will not have the same 5 or any.
I don't think we will.
It is incredibly, incredibly rare for this to happen. So go
on. So, the first one I got written down is War of the Worlds.
Right. Which one?
Tom Cruise.
Ah.
Yeah, which this is the thing, right? So my introduction to War of the Worlds was the music, which Murray is so gratefully showing off right now.
Thank you.
That was my first introduction.
I love the music.
Exactly. And I've heard about the War of the Worlds film for ages, right? And I heard everyone going, "Oh, it's not what I want." And everyone's like, "I really want a good War of the Worlds film."
Yeah.
And then I was with someone and I had it on DVD, and they're like, "Oh, it's not." But they didn't mind it, right? I thought it's not bad. So I thought, you know what, I'll give it a chance, right?
Yeah.
And
best thing you can do.
To be fair, the film isn't bad.
Right.
However, the thing that disappointed me most was that, and I'm fairly certain of this, no songs are in it. None of the songs are in it.
No original.
Exactly.
No.
That was my thing. I was waiting.
There's
music.
No.
No, there's none of that. There's no Forever Autumn or anything.
Oh.
Because, and I think there is another film that does have. I think there is like a War of the Worlds musical film. I think.
Right.
This had none.
BBC did a reboot of War of the Worlds, didn't they?
They did.
It was more like classical.
Because obviously you have like the radio, the old radio show.
Yeah, the famous one, yeah.
Yeah, but apparently tricked everyone into thinking that, the aliens were invading.
With Orson Welles, yeah, I remember.
Exactly. And like that's great because that plays music because it's pretending to be a radio show, so it'll play music and then broadcasts happen. And because that for me, War of the Worlds is mainly the soundtrack. Which, by the way, anyone out there who has not listened to the soundtrack, listen to. The
everyone's don't even say that because everyone's listened to it.
It's fantastic.
Don't even say that. Everyone has listened to the War of the Worlds soundtrack. If you haven't listened to the War of the Worlds soundtrack, turn off the radio right now and just go and listen to it. And don't come back. We don't want to have you here at the Real Show if you haven't listened to the War of the Worlds soundtrack. I shouldn't alienate our audience. I'm sorry.
It's one of the best soundtracks, if not the best soundtracks out there. It's fantastic. But yeah, that's what I've got down for number one.
Right. What's your real rating then?
I have a rating for it.
Of the Tom Cruise. What year? What year is it? It's 20. I'm struggling.
I want to say it's round about. It's early 2000s, I believe.
2005.
There we go.
2005. I had to pull it up. 2005.
So.
Oh, it's that one with the cool poster. It's the one with the cool poster with the Martian hand holding the Earth.
Yes.
I remember that poster. We had it up in when I went to college. We had it up in the film room.
Yeah, see, it's not a bad film. It's
No,
just not
I
what
suppose.
I expected
I
from
don't
it.
know. It's sort of an American adaptation with Tom Cruise running around the city with that blonde girl and the tripod. The tripods look awesome, I think.
Yeah, this is
The
the thing.
effects
The
are really
effects
good.
are really good.
And they have those lasers that like atomize people. That's cool as well.
So overall, it's an okay film. So
Yeah,
I've given it a 7. I think seven's fair.
reels. Fair enough.
I think a
My
7's fair.
right, so it's in no particular order. Shall I just go for the one at the top?
That's what I've done. I'm just going down the list.
Right, I'm just going to go for the one at the top. One at the top. Now, how do you feel about Daisy Ridley?
Yeah,
Ray, what do you think?
decent. You know, as an actress, up
Yep,
there, up there, up there.
up there. Well, she was in a. Also, how do you feel about Hamlet? I think it's
What?
Hamlet.
I don't mind me a bit of Shakespeare.
You don't
Hamlet's
like a
the
bit of
one with the
Shakespeare?
skull.
Well,
Hamlet's the one with the skull, I believe.
right, okay. Well, Ophelia is a film from 2018.
Okay.
That was the same year as The Last Jedi, just to say.
Okay.
That stars Daisy Ridley as Ophelia, and
Yeah.
it's basically a retelling from her perspective of Hamlet.
Okay.
It's told from the perspective of Ophelia.
Yeah.
It's got Naomi Watts and a couple of other names in it that I can't remember right now. Clive Owen, he's very good. And Daisy Ridley herself is Ophelia. She does very well as
Yeah.
well. She's basically carries the film on her portrayal because it's from her perspective. And I like the film. It's very sort of understated.
Yeah.
It does a lot with the sort of her perspective and what she and not from Hamlet. You don't see a lot of Hamlet in the film.
Yeah.
There's only a bit of Hamlet because Hamlet's off doing his own thing, and you only really see Ophelia's point of view. You know, it's that tale of the Denmark royalty,
Yeah.
and Ophelia is capturing the affections of Prince Hamlet, and their romance in secret and whatnot. And it went toward the festival, went to Sundance Film Festival 2018. It sort of got me. It sort of had mediocre reviews. It
Yeah.
wasn't that popular. It got a 60 Metacritic score, which isn't bad. More than half. But I am 6.6 on IMDb, which is also more
Okay.
than half. So it's at least worth
Yeah.
something. However, I'm going to give it what rating matters. It's the real rating. So what is my real rating? It is. Now I've danced a lot around on this. I was dancing around
Yeah.
this rating last night. Right, it was initially going to be a 5.5,
Oof.
but then it went down to a 4.75
Oh.
purely because I wish it had done better. I
Oh.
wish it had got a better reception, and that's the only reason I'm bringing it down. If it had done better, maybe commercially, maybe it'd be at a 5.5. But no, it's 5.75. The film itself, very good. There's a white peacock in it. Have you ever seen a white peacock before?
No.
No,
I don't
there's a
think I
white
have.
peacock in Ophelia. In one scene, I thought it was really weird. The Queen or whatever, the Queen's walking down this hallway, and there's a white peacock in the garden, and I was thinking, what is that bird? That does not look like a normal bird. So I looked it up. It looked like a peacock. I thought, is it a white peacock? And it is. White peacocks do exist.
Yeah.
White peacocks do exist. I was like, wow. I was amazed by this white peacock. clearly, the film didn't do much for me. If all I'm amazed is the animal in the background. But who
I mean,
knows?
that's
White
like
peacocks. I was astounded.
that's
Anyway,
that's not as low as the holiday, the
no,
1979 holiday special from Star Wars. It's about, I believe, that's about as low as Cats went. I think Cats got a
okay.
3.5.
Well, Ophelia, what 4. Well, no, Ophelia has a very reserved, very understated 4.75 purely because if it did better, it'd have higher.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Anyway, your turn.
So, another first of this year
Okay.
for me, because a couple of these I've watched before, but I went back and rewatched them. However, another one that I watched for the first time was the first Hobbit movie,
An Unexpected Journey.
Unexpected Journey.
Okay.
And this is mainly because massive Lord of the Rings fan.
Yes, we're aware.
Seen the films. I can't count how many times.
Mhm.
But The Hobbit is the first film that I read the book before watching the film, which is very rare for me because I've only ever read like 2 books.
Yeah, in your life?
Pretty much, yeah.
Fair enough.
One being The Hobbit, and the next one being Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh, all right. Well, at least you read 2 classics.
Yes. I got halfway through the second Lord of the Rings book, and then.
So how do you feel about The Hobbit then?
See, again, this is another film that I heard really mixed reviews about, and
Okay.
to be fair, I didn't mind it.
Mm.
I thought, obviously, everyone's going to compare it to Lord of the Rings, right? And Lord of the Rings is, as far as films go, fantastic. As far as book adaptations go as well, it's the best.
The special editions are just
exactly.
You got to watch them. They're 9 hours long, but they are so worth it.
The problem I think The Hobbit has is obviously it had issues with the director because Peter Jackson wasn't originally directing it.
Yeah.
So he had to come in and kind of fix everything. But the other thing is The Hobbit, story-wise, is different to Lord of the Rings.
I don't think. I don't know. I don't think it should have been split into 2 films. I mean, 3 films. Sorry. I think it should have been 2 films.
Yes, this is the other argument people have is there's too many of them. But like Lord of the Rings is a tale about all these people having to do this massive, massive task, right? You have these hobbits going on, essentially going on a thing they don't do, trying to deliver a ring, and it's this massive task, and they somehow do it with the help of
save Middle Earth.
Yeah, with the help of the dwarves and the elves who don't like each other, and they end up liking each other and that sort of thing. Yeah. The Hobbit, at its core, is similar. It's a hobbit who is going on an adventure, who is doing something he isn't normally doing, and is surrounded by like these other friends.
The dwarves.
Right. Exactly. However, The Hobbit was written as a book for Tolkien's children. It wasn't meant to get published. So The Hobbit is more of a kid's book because they're going to fight a dragon. They're not like trying to bring a ring to Mount Doom or whatever. So I think even story-wise, The Hobbit isn't as maybe serious or gripping or threatening as Lord of the Rings is. It's more fun. It's more, a little bit more carefree. It still has the serious bits in it, but it's not as Lord of the Rings, which I think is where most people kind of have the problem with it.
It's a simpler tale, then.
Yeah, exactly. It is more simple. It's more. Yeah, it's just more the fun, I guess, adventure with the trolls and the giant rock mountains that have a fight at some point, and they're going down a waterfall and barrels, etc., etc.
So, what's your real rating? Right. Okay.
However, it's still a decent film.
Right. Your real rating, then?
I gave it a rating of 8.
8. Well, wow. Okay, that's very hard. That's deserving of praise.
It's enjoyable. It's still enjoyable. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Well, let me parry that then. I will come back with I was almost going to do these films two at a time, right? I was going to give you these 2 very next to each other because they're very close, these next 2 for me.
Yeah.
One of them is a film you've probably not heard of, but I enjoyed, called Kill Me 3 Times.
You are correct. I have not heard of it.
Right, okay. Which it's a film from 2014.
Okay.
And it's sort of it's as close as an independent film as I can get on this list, right?
Okay.
It's Australian, and it's an Australian film. It's got an incredibly unique premise. It tells 3 stories, but they all sort of intersect in separate points, right? It's not unheard of, but the way he does it, it's almost told sort of backwards, but all the plots intersect anyway. It's a bit of a dark comedy, a bit of an action film at times. It focuses around this woman who's trying to. I've watched it a long time. I think this was I watched it almost in the first 3 months of 2020. I just remember it being on my list as one of the ones that I really enjoyed. It's on Netflix if you want to watch it, as most of these films will be. But still, I enjoyed it very much. So in hour 30, Simon Pegg, amazing as
Yeah.
always. Gotta love Simon Pegg. It's sort of the story of this woman who's trying to escape with her husband and this loss of money, but the money is being intercepted by like the jealous ex of the husband and the husband's boss. And then there's this guy called Charlie Wolf, who's this international hitman who's played by Simon Pegg, who's come in for the money as well. So it's very sort of Pulp Fiction, very sort of Tarantino-y spoof type thing.
Yeah.
But still, it does very well. And apparently, it was a very big hit in Australia because it's in Australia. But it was a very sort of big in Australia. Luke Hemsworth is in it. Chris's brother, Thor's brother. A few other
Yeah.
sort of big Australian actors, I suppose. Again, didn't have a very big reception. It got 30 on Metacritic, which is on the lower side, and it got 5.9 on IMDb. But for the real rating, I will give it 5 reels.
Okay.
Purely for fun. It is a fun film. Yes, the plot's very winding, but it is fun. It's quite dry at times. It's quite dark comedy. It's very witty. Simon Pegg has a lot of laughs as always.
Yeah.
He's out there giving it his A game as always. So I think a steady 5 reels, a firm, a strong 5 reels.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Your turn.
So I'm gonna bring it back to a couple of years ago. I'm bringing it back to the good old year of 1952.
Oh wow! Okay, you're taking us back
when this film came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I am, of course, talking about the classic Singing in the Rain.
Oh, really?
Which, again, first time watching it this year.
Okay. Well, it's one of the first, musicals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we thought, we'll put Singing in the Rain on. I quite enjoy musicals, I will admit. It's only like an hour 40. So, again, it's not that long either.
Mm-hmm.
It's very simple, but I quite enjoyed it. It's a good film. It's just a good film to watch. Just put on, sit down. You don't really have to like watch it fully. You can miss bits and still get what's going on. It's just a very, very fun film, and because it's a very fun film, I have given it another 8.
Wow, you're rating high today.
Singing the Rain. Yeah, but it's just classic films. It's really good.
Right. Well, I'm on the more modern spectrum, as you know.
Yeah.
So again, I'm coming at you with another film from 2018.
Nice.
This one now. Do you like Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah. You know what?
Okay.
Out of the 3, the Cornetto trilogy, I think it's the best one.
Well, this is not Shaun of the Dead. But do you like?
I gathered that.
Harry Potter.
Yes.
Right. Well, this is sort of a combination. Shaun of the Dead meets Harry Potter meets teenage college film meets sort of horror film as well. It is the film from 2018 known as Slaughterhouse Rules, if you've heard of it. We've got Michael Sheen is like a headmaster. He's the very sort of posh headmaster who's who's made a deal with the fracking company. He's trying to sweep it all under the rug. Simon Pegg plays a man who's called Meredith, who is one of the teachers, and he's very gallant and he's very brave and he's trying to put it up and help them, but he's hopeless, bless him. Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie shows up as well.
Nice.
She's got a cameo in it. She plays an Australian teacher called Audrey, who used to be Simon Pegg character's girlfriend, who's then moved away back to Australia.
Right.
And they sort of talk over like Skype and stuff, and her voice appears quite a few times.
Yeah.
Nick Frost plays this sort of leader of like a hippie gang who's trying to protest against the fracking in the school. I thought I enjoyed, again, another fun one from me. It's another fun one. Simon Pegg helped write this as well, so it is very sort of Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz style comedy. For anyone who's a fan of that, there are some sort of references to the Cornetto trilogy in there as well. I won't say what they are, but they are fun. and it came out around sort of Halloween time as well in 2018.
Nice.
I think it actually came out on Halloween, like the 31st of October.
Yeah.
So I think it is still one of those Halloween-y type films. I think that's probably nearabouts to when I watched it. Probably not. I probably watched it a few months before October, to be honest. But still, and again, another one that didn't really receive very rave reviews. But I'm going to give it. I have down in my notes it's a 5.5 reels, but I'm actually going to give it 6.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to bring it up right now to 6 reels. Purely because some of the performances are really, really good. Michael Sheen is always on top form. He's always doing very well, or whatever character. Margot Robbie is a nice little cameo in there as well. Very surprising when she turns up. Nick Frost and Simon Pegg are an astounding duo. And some of the kid actors are actually normally I hate kid actors.
Yeah.
But sort of in British films, I think they do. British comedy resonates very well with child actors.
It does.
So I'd say some of the kid actors do very well. It's got Asia. Oh, I forget his name. Is it Asia Butterfield, something like that? The guy from Sex Education.
Yeah.
On Netflix, you know Sex Education, don't you?
Yes.
It's got that guy. It's got that kid in it, and he does very well. So yeah, it's now gone up to 6 reels. Slaughterhouse Rules. Check it out.
Okay.
You'll go.
So, do you like films with gripping emotion?
I love gripping emotion. I'm gripping emotion as we speak.
Do you like films that bring a tear to your eye?
Oh, I'm crying right now.
And do you like Will Smith?
You know what? Wiki Wild Wild West. I do like Will Smith. Men in Black.
That's the song you went to.
Here come the men, getting jiggy with it.
That's the one I was thinking. I was getting jiggy with it.
I thought Wild West, but all right. Getting jiggy with it. The Men in Black. Here come the Men in Black. I do like Will Smith.
Well, one film, but you can definitely get jiggy with.
Yeah.
Is for 1996 Independence Day.
Oh wow!
Which
don't tell me it's the first time you've seen Independence Day.
I can tell you it was not the first time I've seen Independence Day. It was the first time I've seen Independence Day in a while, however.
Right, okay, well give me your take then.
Well, weirdly, Will Smith has been in actually quite a few films that are very emotional, because I was going to pick I Am Legend, which is another one. But I didn't. I picked Independence Day because I think I Am Legend is probably more well known, maybe, or at least people have seen it more. But Independence Day is, and I'm like you. I watched this like at the start of the year, so my knowledge is foggy on the plot. But essentially, it's a film where there's like a meteorite coming to Earth or something. It's aliens. It's aliens that are coming to Earth, and they need to basically get rid of them. And Will Smith is essentially
he's the fighter pilot, isn't he?
Yeah.
With Jeff Goldblum.
I forgot Goldblum's in it.
Yeah, Goldblum turns up. Goldblum's in it, and that guy that plays the president who gives that big speech, and that guy that salutes really well.
Yeah. So like the aliens have this shield. So they can't fire at them, they can't do anything. And this all takes place, or at least the end of the film takes place on July 4th, which is Independence Day.
Yep. Both of our films relate to holidays, don't they?
Yes.
Independence Day relates to Independence Day, and Slaughterhouse Rules replaces Halloween.
Yeah. And then what ends up happening is they find a way to get rid of the shields. Spoilers, by the way, if you couldn't have guessed. They find a way to get rid of shields, and they find a way to like fire missiles into the ship, essentially, to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And it's this really heart-wrenching scene of like Will Smith, and I forgot who plays the other character in it. Don't think there's the other pilot in it who essentially like is flying into a ship, and he ends up dying. But because he died, the ship explodes, and he's just like, Will Smith's upset because he's lost his friend, and it's this really like emotional journey of just the world basically coming to an end, and then these these military pilots are going to like save the day, and it's really good, and it's a good old story.
So what
It's
is
fantastic played.
your real rating?
Well, Rotten Tomatoes gave us a 67%,
Right.
which I think's a bit low for this film.
Yeah.
IMDb gave it a 7 out of 10.
Uh-huh.
However, genuinely, this is one of my favorite films, I think. So I'm going to give it what I think it deserves. I'm going to give Independence Day an 8.5.
8.5. It's getting higher and higher for you.
It is. I mean, to
Corey.
be fair, so yours, I think.
Well, all right. Well, actually, yes. This one is considerably higher. Now,
There we go.
I'm going to do the same thing. Do you like Guy Ritchie?
I do like Guy Ritchie.
Do you like Snatch?
Yes.
Do you like the fact that all Guy Ritchie's been doing for the past 10 years is remaking Snatch?
Sure.
Well, then you'll like Rock and Roller. It's sort of a classic Snatch type. Again, I'm going to say the word Snatch. Take a shot every time I say the word Snatch. You'd be dead.
Snatch.
So it's kind of like Snatch, but it's like in London.
There's another one.
Yeah, it's kind of like Snatch, but it's in London. Mark Strong does very well. So does Idris Elba. Guy Ritchie's on top form as always. Thandie Newton as well. If you're a fan of Westworld or anything that Thandie Newton's also been in, Thandie Newton's in it. Guy Ritchie's done great. He's a writing, directing as always. He's done a good job. You know what? I say I'm a fan of Guy Ritchie. I'm a Guy Ritchie fan.
Okay.
I recently saw The Gentleman, which is also a Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that very much because it's like Snatch. So I'm not milking saying it. I'm just telling you what it's like.
I mean, fair.
Actually, you know what? It works. It works. If all Guy Ritchie wants to do for the next 20 years as a director, just keep making Snatch and change everyone's names, then I'll be perfectly fine with it. And I'd keep watching it, you know. And my real rating, I'm sure you're curious. It is a very respectable, very healthy 7.5 reels.
Okay.
So what is your fine? What? Yeah, it is. It's respectable. It's just very. It's good. Let's say it's very good. I like. It's good. Yeah. Rock and Roller. So what is your pick? Your last pick?
So my final pick. It's another oldie. Not as old as Singing in the Rain, but a bit older than Independence Day.
Okay.
And it's one I watched very, very recently. Not for the first time, but for the first time again in a while.
Okay.
And that's the 1984 classic, The Karate Kid.
Oh, you're the best around. Nothing's ever going to keep you down. Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off. The Karate Kid.
The one.
Strike first, strike hard, no mercy, sir. You love it, you know. It's one of those classic sports films, isn't it?
It's the underdog story of here's this kid who is getting trained, and then like he goes into a tournament, and then here's this other team essentially that are just out to do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah, the Cobra Kais.
Exactly, to the point where one of them gets himself disqualified just to injure the main character.
Daniel LaRusso.
Exactly. So like he's injured, he's out.
No, but you know what? You know what I love? The villains in the Karate Kid movies are just so goofy. Karate Kid villains, they're just so goofy. There's that guy. There's John Kreese, who's the insane sensei.
Like, oh, Daniel has 15 minutes to get back to the ring, otherwise he forfeits. And then he asks Mr. Miyagi to like heal his leg.
Healing powers, doesn't he?
Somehow.
Yeah. He does the thing where he goes like this. He puts his hands together and he rubs his hands. Yeah. It's like the music's building, and then he uses his like karate hands to heal him. Well, that's Karate Kid. What is your real rating?
8.5.
Nice.
It's fantastic. It's such a good film. It's so good.
Well, my final pick is a 2020 film, first off.
Okay.
And I have seen it this year, and I did love it. And it is a Spike Lee joint. You familiar with Spike Lee?
I'm familiar with Spike Lee, yes.
It is Spike Lee joint. It is Da 5 Bloods from 2020. This movie made me cry. And any film that can do that.
Thing to do?
No, well, yes, it is. I'd say it is. The last film I cried at was Return of the King,
Nice.
which was Lord of the Rings. The last film I can remember crying at was Return of the King, and maybe The Force Awakens
Right.
when
Okay.
Han Solo died.
Yeah.
Spoilers, but that was probably the last film I sort of cried at. A couple of tears, maybe not, but this I was bawling at this at *Da 5 Bloods*.
Okay.
Probably because I watched it the day after the unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman.
Yes.
I watched this the day after, sort of to remember him by, and I didn't know what it was like going into it, and I was just hit with. I was just hit with something I wasn't really ready for. But anyway, *Da 5 Bloods*
Yeah.
is about four African American veterans returning to Vietnam to uncover
Yeah.
this sort of case of gold, um, the gold fortune that their fallen squad leader helped them hide.
Right.
Now we've got four amazing black actors who play the four older guys. We've got Clark Peters, Isaiah Whitlock Jr. from The Wire, um, Delroy Lindo, and Norm Lewis, who are all amazing in their own right. And their characters all have different sort of perspectives. One of them is really
Yeah.
annoyed at the war and really annoyed that the Vietnamese he's still got that hatred. One of them is sort of trying to settle down with a wife and with a family. Another one has like an estranged daughter who's Vietnamese, and they're trying to find the mother.
Yeah.
And another one is sort of devoted to the image of their leader who'd passed away in the war and who is played by Chadwick Boseman in the flashbacks. And it was just the combined sort of emotion of the day and the combined sort of feelings and the sort of very heartfelt send off that Boseman's characters get is sort of drove me to be very sort of. Granted, it's an amazing film.
Yeah.
Spike Lee always delivers, and it's got 82% Metacritic. It's got very high reviews across the board from critics, and I had a very good time. It's 2 hours 30. It's a bit of a long one, but still, I think it has everything it has to have to portray this very human story about about these four veterans coming back to a land they once fought in against the Vietnamese and just trying to get away with the gold that they'd buried there years before in the war. They're trying to get away with that, and they have to go through the jungle, and not all of them make it back. I won't say who, but not all of them make it back. They meet some characters along the way. Not all of them make it over. Strangely enough, it is connected somewhat to your last pick of Karate Kid. Well, sort of,
Right.
in a way. It's sort of a vague connection. An actor called Paul Walter Hauser, who is in a lot of Spike Lee films, turns up in this
Yeah.
as well as a guy who's as a metal detector guy who's searching for bombs or whatever in the Vietnamese jungle. And Paul Walter Hauser also appears in the Cobra Kai series
Nice.
as well. So it's sort of connected to in sort of a loose connection there. But still, it's a Spike Lee joint. He always gives it 110%. You can tell this film has a lot of heart, a lot of respect, a lot of love for not only the African American participation in the American military, but also the effects of post-traumatic stress disorder and the effects of war on the human psyche and how these guys turn out in modern day.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it. Do you know what's coming, Corey?
I'm going to hazard a guess. It's higher than the last one.
It is a 9.5 reels. 9.5 reels. It was going to be 10, but I brought it down to 9.5 purely because I want to wait for the day where we have something that earns 10 reels, and also because and also because I haven't seen many Spike Lee films, so I don't know if this is the standard, or maybe they get better than
Right. Yeah.
this. I haven't seen many Spike Lee films, but I think that's probably why it goes to 9.5. But it is a very solid 9.5 for those reasons. It's a very human message, very heartfelt message in the end, and it was unfortunate that it timed into the unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman. But I think it serves as not only a tribute to him and what he contributed to media in general, but also something that highlights very real issues in America, as Spike Lee often always does.
I mean, that's the highest we've had, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I believe. I mean,
I think so.
I think everyone now has to basically go and watch that.
Yeah, the Five Bloods is on Netflix. You've got no excuse. Just go out and watch it. But maybe you should watch my weekly rec first.
Yes.
My weekly rec.
The other film we're recommending today.
Right. Well, technically, it's not a film. We are breaking precedent here, Corey. We are breaking precedent here. But you know what? You're the best around. Nothing's ever going to keep you down.
Okay.
Because my weekly rec is Cobra Kai.
Oh, very nice.
It is Cobra Kai. Now, I didn't think of this independently. When you were sort of telling me the songs you wanted for this week, I thought, it was going to be The Mandalorian season 2.
Nice. Okay.
Because that came out this year, but also Cobra Kai. It's 2021. It's coming out next year, January 3rd. Season 3. We've already had season 1 and 2. It's a perfect reference and a perfect homage to the original Karate Kids. It brings back old characters. It brings in new characters as well. It's a perfect storm of the Karate Kid franchise. It breathes new life into the franchise. William Zabka is back as Johnny Lawrence. Some more than 20 years later, and so is Ralph Macchio as Daniel LaRusso. That man doesn't age. He still looks like he's a 12-year-old boy. Still, it's got the action stepping up. You've got like Hollywood action now with still karate, still real karate moves. Martin Kove is back as John Kreese, and season 3 is offering more surprises, new characters. We're going back to Japan from Karate Kid 2, back to Okinawa for the origins of sort of Mr. Miyagi. And it also pays a lot of respect to the series. Now, unfortunately, Pat Morita, the man that played Mr. Miyagi, has passed away, and they pay homage to him through sort of Daniel's teaching. Daniel is he's a lot like Mr. Miyagi now. He's still very uncertain. He's still very unsure, but he has those moments of where the Miyagi comes out in him. The teachings of Nariyoshi Miyagi come out in Daniel in some of these moments in these series, and that's what you're really looking for. But also, it brings out new characters. It's new characters like Miguel and Hawk and Johnny Lawrence's son Robbie as well. It inspires the next generation of Karate Kids. I'd say it inspires the next generation of Karate Kid stars. So that is my weekly rec, Cobra Kai. There's 3 series. I think they're about 12, 13 episodes each. And season 3 is coming out January 3rd. It was pushed forward, actually. It was going to be January 23rd. And now it's January 3rd. So you get it early. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Cobra Kai. So what is my real rating? You must be wondering.
I am indeed. Is it as high as a 9.5? Probably not.
Is it as high as the Five Bloods? It isn't. It is 9 reels instead.
Oh, okay, it's close.
It's very close, Cobra Kai, and it deserves it. It deserves it. It has. If you are a Karate Kid fan, just watch Cobra Kai. If you have any love for Karate Kid or for those 80s sports films, it still captures the feeling of an 80s sports film. It's still got the training montages. It's still got the music. It's got everything. It's got so many references to the original series. It's crazy. It's bringing its A game. It's bringing its all, and everyone's doing 110%. So it is. I'd say it's the spiritual and it's a spiritual sequel and the right sequel at the right time for Cobra Kai and for Karate Kid as well. So
nice.
It's Daniel LaRusso. He's got his family now. Johnny Lawrence down in the dumps. He tries to restart Cobra Kai. He's got 1 student of Miguel in the first season. And after Miguel's success, he has a new Cobra Kai class. And it's about teaching them the new way, not the way of John Kreese's quite, malicious, evil Cobra Kai. He's trying to teach an honorable Cobra Kai. When John Kreese comes back in the picture, it's about them duking it out and trying to which way Cobra Kai is the best way. And Daniel is trying to fight against the forces of Cobra Kai with his daughter now. He's got a daughter, and with his daughter, and he restarts Miyagi-Do to try and combat the oncoming forces of Cobra Kai.
Yes.
So things are set for season 3. Things set up. There was a huge climactic battle at the end of season 2 between the two schools. So we're going to deal with the ramifications of that. We're also going to deal with some new characters, hopefully, coming in, and a return to Japan. So season 3 of Cobra Kai, January 3rd. Also, we're not sponsored by Netflix, by the way. Other streaming services are available.
I mean, okay. So I've mentioned Karate Kid. You've mentioned Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
So I think it's only right that one song ends the episode.
It's got to be. There is no other pick. It's got to be You're the Best Around by Joe Esposito, 1984, Karate Kid. That's the song we're going to end on. A rightful song and a rightful end to a hopeful end, a positive end to 2020, at the end where so many things have gone wrong. Let's do something right. Let's put our best foot forward into 2021 with You're the Best Around. Bye-bye, folks.
Bye.